do interest rates affect that return on investment? So typically, the higher the interest rate, the higher that monthly rent payment. And so when you are doing an investor loan, you have an appraisal that looks at the average rents for that community, right? And most of the times you cannot get approved for an investor loan unless the rent roll, so the average rent rates in that community for that type of house, exceed the mortgage payment, right? And that's the mortgage payment, including principal, taxes, interest, HOA, everything that's in that mortgage payment, right? So the higher the interest rate, sometimes the more difficult it is to fit into that criteria. So you'll have to look at it there. A lot of times people will buy down that rate if you have additional capital, or find a house that has more of a rehab need to get that investor loan. There's lots of different scenarios, but what you want to do is to make sure that you do the math to understand how long you plan on having that home. What are the terms? A lot of investor loans have prepayment penalties, whether they be 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years, because the bank wants to make money off of there. The bank or the investor who's giving you the rest of the money wants to make money. So it's really important to pay attention to that prepayment penalty. And then that ROI again is based on not only that monthly payment, but what's more significant is the difference between that purchase price and the selling price. So if you use the BRRRR method that I mentioned before, you would have that initial cash out refinance, and then that long-term asset appreciation, as well as the cash flow from the monthly rentals if it is cash flow positive, right? And so when looking at the interest rates, it can dramatically impact these numbers. However, a lot of investors don't really, I would say, care, or it's less important because they're looking at the overall math. And typically, that cash out refinance from the renovation far outseeds, I'm talking about the gains, far outseeds any kind of interest rate issues. And that's why so many people try to flip or buy investment properties, because the cash from other calculation exceeds that monthly rental consideration.